Good evening, barflies and lounge lizards, and welcome to another filler video. These months with 5 Fridays just aren't right, I tell you. So rather than miss another weekend, I figured I'd just rattle off a list of some of my favorite things and some other random facts. So to start this off, my favorite sci-fi property of all time is easily Lost in Space. I prefer Season 2 and 3 over 1, I like the wackiness, but it's all great. Season 1 really doesn't get the credit it should for just being good sci-fi. My favorite movie of all time is probably Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The book is good too, it's very close. And it's not just because of all the Hawaiian shirts and funny hats. That doesn't hurt though. My favorite sci-fi movie is either Escape from the Planet of the Apes or Barbarella. Eliminators is high up there as well. And you know, way back when I mentioned that Fear and Loathing is my favorite movie, well now I'm second guessing that. Because in my scientific opinion, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers is probably the perfect movie. A fantastic mix of film noir, sleaze, and comedy. You may have all picked up on the fact that I dig clowns. I'm particularly a big fan of Bozo, with my Bozo growing up being Joey Dioria. You go back and watch those episodes of his show on WGN and there was just something wonderful about that gentleman. He's high on my list of folks I'd like to meet. My favorite director, I couldn't narrow it down, but Fred Olen Ray, Jim Wynorski, and Andy Sedaris are definite contenders. I'm a big Mars Attacks fan and collector. But my fandom mostly comes from the original cards, not the film, though I do like that one. My favorite cryptid is the skunk ape, but I have actually seen a chupacabra in person, no joke. My dad and I ran across one on the way home from a movie back in the early 90s. We lived right on the edge of Georgia Power property, which was just a bunch of woods. It looked like a hairless greyhound with a rat face and big bulging eyes. That whole government conspiracy of them just being coyotes with mange and a parasite is total BS. When it comes to Star Trek versus Star Wars, and we're only talking 20th century stuff here, I like Star Trek a bit better. And I think that Kirk would wipe the floor with Han Solo in a fight. My favorite actor is Kurt Russell. I also really like Peter Cushing. My favorite actress is Laura Gemser. Honorable mentions include Monique Gabrielle and Linnea Quigley. Folks often ask what I'm drinking at the beginning of my videos. It's an Innsmouth Martini, marsh water, donut powder, and a touch of madness. My favorite band of all time is Faith No More, with The Real Thing being my favorite album. Wasp is a close second. My favorite band as a kid was The Monkees. When it started to rerun in the 80s, I thought it was just the coolest thing. Back then, Mickey was my favorite. As a sophisticated, sleazy, tiki weirdo adult, I like Mike the best. The songs he sang were some of my favorites too. My favorite member of Kiss is Gene, followed closely by Ace. Into the Night by Ace is hands down my favorite Kiss or Kiss-related song. Once, when I was living in Hollywood, I was at Tower Records looking at magazines. I looked over and Gene was standing right next to me. I didn't bother him though. I also ran into Bill Murray, Quentin Tarantino, and Tony Todd. I didn't bother them either. Tony Todd I saw at the dollar store buying bread. He was rocking a blue jean jacket. I thought that was cool. When I was younger, it always felt like you were a Ramones person or a Sex Pistols person. And I was most definitely a Ramones person, my favorite member being CJ. And though it's not the cool kids' opinion, I generally prefer their later work, Brain Drain to Adios Amigos. That said, my favorite Ramones song is either Somebody Put Something in My Drink or We Want the Airwaves. I like both Joel and Mike, but I'm more a Team Mike guy. The Riff Tracks lineup/era is my favorite of MST3K. My favorite superhero is the Tick, unless the Green Ranger counts as a superhero. Then it's him. But that's a nostalgia versus adult taste kind of thing. The Super Inframan is my favorite tokusatsu hero. As far as my favorite artist, I couldn't narrow it down, but I like Frazetta and Clyde Caldwell because I'm a sword and sorcery nerd. Dean Yeagle, who's probably best known for the Mandy character from Playboy and the Honey Nut Cheerios beat, and Drew Hayes, the writer and artist of my all-time favorite comic book series, Poison Elves. The best way I can describe that one is if Quentin Tarantino had written The Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah, and Emmanuel Taletti is definitely a favorite. And I know that pronunciation was probably way off, but his Fumetti covers are next level awesome. My favorite writer is probably Philip Jose Farmer. He even makes a cameo in my book, Bubblegum Apocalypse Noir. I did it as an homage to how he featured Forrest J. Ackerman in his novel Blown, the sequel to my favorite PJF novel, Image of the Beast. Regular viewers here at the snack bar have probably heard me joke about sprinkles in the sprinkles industry on multiple occasions. And it's not a joke. Sprinkles make everything just a little bit worse. Stop putting them on donuts.